Well, welcome everyone. I am here today to talk to you about Mercedes Lackey's book, Hunter, on Audible, read by Amy Landon. This is my first introduction to Mercedes Lackey. Believe it or not, I've never read any of her books before or listened to them. And I have to say, for a first introduction, it started off a little rough. I was quite tempted in the beginning not to finish this book. It came across as very hateful and intolerant towards one religious group in particular, and I'm not a big fan of intolerant, hateful books. I will say that I'm glad that I stuck it out. And to explain, in the beginning of the book, she talks that the hero Joyo talks about, the monastery she grew up in. All the religions of the world were there. They all got along except one religion. This is a post-apocalyptic book set in a world where the apocalypse has happened, and the aftermath of the apocalypse is that magic was reintroduced into the world. The aftermath is that our boundaries between our world and alternate universes has been weakened. So we've got all kinds of monsters that come into our world and try to eat humans. But post-apocalyptic, you have humans who have magical abilities, and they also have some, not all of them, but some of them have the ability to call creatures called hounds from another universe to help them battle the monsters, and they become hunters, and their job is to go out and hunt the monsters and protect society. Well, this religious group, when Joyo has had to save some of them, they were ungrateful. This religious group, during the apocalypse, set off a nuclear bomb in order to try to bring about their version of a cleansing or whatever. It wasn't even an extremist version of this religious group. It was the entire religious group. The whole world hates them. They're partially responsible for the apocalypse, all this other malarkey. And it seemed very intolerant to me. But I'm glad I stuck it out. There reaches a point to where she has to be mentored. She goes from the monastery to the city, and that's where the big change for her occurs. Even though this is post-apocalyptic, we have not lost all of our technology. In fact, technology has advanced, and technology is very much used to protect the cities from the monsters. The hunters are still getting through, or the monsters are still getting through the technology, so you need the hunters. But what she discovers when she gets to the city is that the hunters are celebrities. They have their own video channels, which it's TV. They have their own TV channels. And so she has to all of a sudden deal with, this small town community. Nobody knows her. To the big city, she's on TV. Everything she's doing is being videoed. And she's being used to play political games. I'm very happy with how Miss Lackey handled all of that with the hero Joyo. Joyo is a young teenage girl, but she's mature enough to understand and to cope with what's going on. When she doesn't know and when she's confused, she handles it in a way that a mature young teenage girl. I've only raised boys, but I had 3 sisters growing up, so 3 wonderful sisters who I believe would have been able to have adapted and handled it. So the hero is someone you can get behind, but she gets a mentor. Her mentor gets hurt. Then she's given a mentor from this religious group, and she develops a very deep friendship with this mentor. He becomes like a big brother to her, and she learns tolerance, and that is a part of the storyline is that the character learns this tolerance and learns that, you know, her image of them might not be correct, and I like that. I like the way the book ended. When I get my next credit, I am using it to buy the second book in the series. It was an excellent, excellent book, easy to get into, especially if you decide to get past that first part. If you are from this religious group, or if you're someone to whom books that are really intolerant kind of bother you, just understand that it's setting a stage for something later, and stick with it, because it's a really, really good book. I highly recommend it. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope the weather where you're at is better than the rain where I'm at.